Malcolm Turnbull's campaign started out on one simple idea: continuity and change. But when this turned out to be a rip-off of the dumbest campaign slogan the best political writers could come up with, it was time for a change. Time for a new message. One all Australians could get behind. Well, one 48% of Australians could get behind. Recently, the Foundation of Young Australians has released a study that found young Australians are studying for jobs that won't exist in the next 10 to 20 years. And 60% of youth are studying or training for an occupation soon to be predominantly automated. The Foundation CEO, Dan Owen, stated, "To manage this demand and ensure Australia's young people can thrive in this environment, the next generation need not only to know how to operate technology, but how to create and manipulate it as well." Not to imply that she's doomsaying, but this kind of sounds like Owen believes the only jobs open to our youth will be tech industry douche or one of their army of sweatshop employees. So why is the government determined to steer us so sharply from moving forward on industries that experts agree will continue to exist in the coming decades? This study revealed a pretty scary statistic, and unless you understand what it means, it can seem like we're heading to some sort of dystopian future where the Terminator hasn't come from the future to kill John Connor, but to meet his KPIs for the month and his never-ending mission to get Employee of the Year. Now, this is a phenomenon known as technological unemployment, and it's a problem we've been facing basically for all of time. Even Aristotle was writing about technological unemployment. However, the water wheel seems pretty tame when you compare it to the speed with which automation is displacing workers all over the world. In fact, it's one of the reasons that Trump managed to rise to victory in the recent election. He is promising to resurrect jobs that can't be resurrected. The industries have moved on. You can't introduce money-saving technologies and then expect industries not to use them. This is Pandora opening the box not only to find out that it was the same box Schrodinger's cat was kept in, but now not only does she know the cat is dead, she's released that death upon the world. It's a story we all know well. We all know someone who has been displaced by changing industry. It's a grandfather or an uncle who has been an assembly line worker all their life, a sister who was replaced by self-service checkouts, or a Disneyland employee who was replaced by robot prostitutes when they built Westworld. But rather than invest in the next major industry that will potentially save the workers that we worry about displacing, we circle the drain of every industry until the last minute. For a government that was built on jobs and growth, it has been surprisingly lax on some of the key issues that will bring about these two things. In Turnbull's first budget, there was no new money for climate initiatives, and the only mention renewable energies got was to confirm that 1.3 billion in funds would be stripped from the Australian Renewable Energy Agency. Now, I'm not the only one who noticed this. Professor John Hewson, a former leader of the Liberal Party, told the Solar Expo conference in 2016, "This slogan is jobs and growth. I would have thought that one of the most significant sectors for economic growth and jobs is renewables. I am staggered that it didn't get a mention in the speech or in the documents." Now, I know a thing or two about doing a job in an industry that is dying. I am doing news satire on community television in what is supposed to be a currently booming market, and we won't exist in the future. This is not a new phenomenon. This is one of many instances in history where automation and innovation have caused widespread panic. The printing press, weaving machines, and now robots, drones, and driverless cars have driven a nationwide panic about the stability of the nation's jobs and growth. According to various polls, jobs that could go by 2034 are social media experts, print journalists, secretaries, assembly line workers, posties, taxi drivers, builders, accounting clerks, farm forestry and garden workers, real estate agents, video store attendants. Video store attendants? Is it really going to take 10 years to phase out video store attendants? I mean, apparently there are some people still out there propping up their local video store while they wait out this whole future of the entertainment industry phase. And you can really hear the difference in the VHS, you know? There's just the warm quality of the sound, you know? Look, right now our government is one of these guys. It's your old uncle with the gigantic VHS collection. He already knows how to use a VHS player, so why would he bother investing in a new industry like Netflix when all of his favourite films are already on VHS? Because, Uncle Malcolm, with just a little retraining and a tech upgrade, we can put your entire VHS collection into a single hard drive, and you won't risk being buried under a pile of VHS tapes because you insist on keeping them in alphabetical order and you broke a hip trying to reach the top shelf so you could watch All Quiet on the Western Front one more time. And why shouldn't people be scared? After large-scale manufacturing industries like car factories start closing down in Australia, we won't even be able to make our own robots to put hardworking Australians out of jobs. We'll have to import foreign robots to take jobs that should be going to hardworking Australian robots. And we all know how we feel about immigrants in this country. And look at these statistics. It's not all doom and gloom. No industry has been abandoned totally. Like even jobs that by now really should have passed, like blacksmithing. People just still do it for fun. Others have evolved, like snake oil salesmen became Amway representatives. Life finds a way. Human beings are not going away entirely either. Supermarkets will have that one lonely employee stalking the self-checkout section just waiting for its robot companions to break down. Like even George Jetson still had to supervise Rudy, and Rudy was a very advanced AI capable of emotions and getting into workplace hijinks as good as those nice ladies Laverne and Shirley, whose jobs he surely made obsolete. Now, according to 140 years of census data collected from the UK, because we know how good our census data is, very unreliable, after each new innovation, there is an adjustment period and people find new ways to support themselves. So PwC analyst John Williams said there was a spike in the caring professions and those that focus on empathy, intuition, and creativity. After spending some time on the internet, I understand this seems like a cause for alarm. These jobs call for sympathetic and empathetic people. And one look at the internet will tell you we've got a severe shortage of those. However, in the last decade alone, there is a 909% increase in nursing. And I don't know about you, but I'm happy to live in a world with 900% more nurses. The key to making things great again, or preserving jobs and growth, is keeping on top of innovation. Having a government that is willing to invest in the future of our country, be it education, or investing in and integrating new technologies with old ones before they supersede them entirely, making an already difficult transition near impossible. Jobs and growth is such a comically cliche campaign idea that it's almost difficult to utter without breaking into laughter. But as we've seen across America, it touches the hearts of a lot of families. Right now, we are lucky, because the party who clued onto that, they're the centre-right party. They definitely aren't the best for the country, but they're a step above who we could have. Now I know we like to be like America, but like planking and the cinnamon challenge, this feels like one of those trends that we can probably give a miss.